I do get a little bit bummed about the bigger sort of festivals. The fact that they do weight a lot of it towards American bands, and I think Australia has amazing bands, and there's no way I'd want to put something on and bring out, you know, a bunch of international bands at the sacrifice of bands that we're trying to support and help. So yeah, I guess the idea was to always have, you know, maybe one, and down the track maybe 2 internationals on there, to kind of give it a bit of, you know, an extra incentive for people to go, but then also to showcase, you know, everything off the label at that time with a few other bands thrown in. Tonight we've got the East Brunswick Club, we've got KILL WHITEY from Melbourne band, Arrows from Brisbane, and then we've got Lungs from Sydney, The Currency from Melbourne town, Death in the Family, and Leatherface all headline tonight.
We're going to the Poison City Weekender. Do you know what that is, mate? No?
All the time we ride, run defeated. I was high on life, and felt mistreated. You were drunk all the time. I was half of nothing. Couldn't die, didn't rise, didn't lack or shifted. Not giving in, not giving in.
We played last year at the Weekender, which was really great, and the year before we played at Poison City Fest, which was at the SB. I enjoy playing, of course, that's probably the reason why you come, but watching all your friends' bands that you get to tour with, it seems like, you know, there's 10 or 15 or whatever bands that come that you get to play with all the time, but they're all here at the one weekend, and you just walk around Melbourne and bump into people and get to eat awesome food and drink lots of beer and play shows. It's as good as it gets, really. Would hate to not be a part of it, like feel shit if I'm here, so.
I think all the bands are amazing. Like the ones that, you know, that share the label are awesome. Even ones that don't, you know, they're all like, a lot of the bands, like pretty much every band on this weekend are like all bands that I'd want to see, like at time, you know.
Yeah, the bands, the people, just, you know, 3 days of really good bands. You know, it's the social thing. Everyone kind of knows each other. And if you don't, you soon do know each other. So you always see people from interstate, especially at the weekend. Like, they come in from everywhere: Adelaide, Perth, Brisbane, Tassie. Yeah, it's great. There's nothing like this.
Doesn't matter how we get there with the circle or the veil, and instincts are imperative. One way will surely fail, and it lay to waste. Pulse waves.
And when we did the first allocation of tickets and stuff, just seeing how many interstate people were buying tickets, it was nuts. And yeah, for me that's great. I mean, it probably wouldn't be as big a turnout if it was just purely Melbourne people. Yeah, just seeing that all these different people coming in to Melbourne for the weekend, and a lot of them, all the bands know from touring around the country, so they might be the same fans that come and see them in another city. It's awesome that people kind of congregate here. Like, I, you know, sort of believe that it's a pretty strong lineup, and to only have one international band but still be kind of attractive for people to travel seems to be a sign that, you know, people are still psyched on Australian bands. But yeah, I think the catching up with friends, you know, coming to hang out in Melbourne, and just an excuse to piss up for 3 days is probably a fair incentive.
I was working the crowds at Regency Park, hands in, hands out, hands up and hands behind me back. They threw me in the monkey house between iron bar and brick, threw me in the courthouse and then threw me on a ship. And I could have bought favours, drowned my thirst with wine. I could have feasted on salted pork and chewed upon the rind. Instead I hid my treasure
how amazing it was last year. I think last year was the first time that it happened to my knowledge, and apparently it was amazing, so we had to come down and check it out. I think it's important to do these things, and I think it's important to pay attention to things that are happening in other cities, especially in a country like Australia where it's so spaced out, and you know, population isn't that big, but I think we all enjoy the same kind of thing. I think there's the same sort of motive behind all these people who are making these bands. Like it's not like, oh, we do it one way and Melbourne dudes do it the other way, and you know, like all the bands, they're here for the same reason. So I think it's important to pay attention to things that are outside of your own city. So this is my first time in another city going to shows, and it's just like home, and it's amazing.
And you thought that I never leave you on a park last night. I'm gone, this letter's through. We made a first mistake when we hit the brakes. Followed the first exit, we should have turned around. Instead we settled down. Still wanted to finally, we were free. Finally.
I guess people that live in Brisbane or Sydney or Perth or Adelaide or Canberra or wherever would go to these types of shows if they're in their town, but when all these bands are in the one place in Melbourne, everyone will come and watch. They just want to be a part of it because it's really good fun.
It's not something that's new, but I think a lot of people are actually starting to do it around the world, so to speak. I mean, you know, you've got the chaos in Texas and the Gainesville, Florida thing, and to tell you the truth, it's great to see it happening here. I mean, we were at the Art House last night. There was some great bands playing there. And it's great to sort of see all that happening, and live music, and people are going out and actually spending the money, having a good time and watching bands, and it's what it's all about, you know.
Who are you looking forward to seeing for this weekend, man?
Leatherface.
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 And Weatherface.